So notice how the daily first started it, went to its target and said, okay, weekly, now here you go. The weekly said, okay, oh, but my target's only 1 cent away. That's not fair. But still, it triggers it. And now it's saying, all right, 2 week, now you go to your target. And the 2 weeks target is 92.29. But Adex, why do you think it can go to 92.29? Because the strat says so. Because you broke a 2-1-2 up on the 2 week. That's why when we say listen to the strat, it says the strat is saying, hey, if this triggers, you take it there. And then when you look in a higher time frame, if that target happens to be the entry for a higher time frame, it's now saying, okay, now that you triggered that, you now need to take it to the next one. And you keep handing the baton to the next time frame participant. So RTX is the prime example of what we talk about, handing the baton to the next participant. RTX is a great example. If you guys just look at an inside bar breakout, a simple inside bar breakout, this is a 2-1-2 breakout. You guys know what this is. It tells you. That's why I say the strat tells you where you're supposed to go. You enter on the 1, you take it to the target, which is the previous candle high. Simple. You enter on the 1, you take it to the next high. It's that simple. There's no like, no, that simple. You break the 1 to the upside, you take it to the next candle high. That's what you do. That's what you do until proven otherwise. So when you look at RTX on the day, and I'm going to have 2 charts side by side so you can see RTX on the daily, inside bar breakout. You are looking for a 2-1-2 up or 2-1-2 down. You mark your entry for the daily. This is your entry, okay? According to the strat, it says that if you break a 2-1-2, you need to take it to the target. This is your target on the daily time frame. So if you mark your target on the daily time frame, this is your target. Because some people ask, well, how are you confident that it's going to do what it needs to do? Well, the strat gives you the confidence. So look at this. RTX, if it triggers a 2-1-2 up on the day, that triggers the 2 up on the week. Look at the target for the daily time frame. The target for the daily time frame happens to be the entry for the weekly time frame. So the daily participant, when they say, okay, time to go, boom, and then all of a sudden they're now taking their baton and they're taking it to their target, that takes it, or that happens to trigger the weekly time frames entry. So notice how the baton gets passed from the daily participant to the weekly participant. Once the daily gets to its target, he or she is now saying, all right, now weekly candle, it's your turn to now get to your target. Now people ask, okay, according to the strat, if we're looking at the 2-1-2 up, it should be this candle high right here. Yes, you are correct. According to the strat, if you break this weekly entry, your target is the previous week high, which is 1 cent above. Now people are gonna say, wait, it's only 1 cent above? Yes, that is the strat target. If you break a 3-1-1 or if you break a 1-1-2 up, you are taking it to the previous candle high. So notice how the daily participant went from its entry to its target, and that also happened to trigger the weekly participant. And now the weekly participant can take it to its target. Now let's go to a higher time frame, the 2-week chart. RTX on the 2 week. Mind you, remember, the 1 week target was 1 cent away at 91.25. That is now, and let me change it. This is now the entry for the weekly. And then this is now the target right here, which is 1 cent away. Now, if you go to a higher time frame, which is a 2 week chart, look, you are also breaking out of a 2-1-2 up on the 2 week. Notice how this 2-1-2 up exists for every single time frame so far. It did, well, this is a double inside week, but you guys get it. Simple inside bar breakout. You had the inside bar on the daily. If that breaks out and goes to target, you trigger the weekly. If you do the inside bar on the weekly, that breaks out and goes to target, you trigger the 2 week. Now that you trigger the 2 week, where are you going to go? You are now passing the baton to go to this target. So notice how the daily first started it, went to its target and said, okay, weekly, now here you go. The weekly said, okay, oh, but my target's only 1 cent away. That's not fair. But still, it triggers it. And now it's saying, all right, 2 week, now you go to your target. And the 2 weeks target is 92.29. But Adex, why do you think it can go to 92.29? Because the strat says so. Because you broke a 2-1-2 up on the 2 week. That's why when we say listen to the strat, it says the strat is saying, hey, if this triggers, you take it there. And then when you look in a higher time frame, if that target happens to be the entry for a higher time frame, it's now saying, okay, now that you triggered that, you now need to take it to the next one. And you keep handing the baton to the next time frame participant. So if you looked at the 2-week chart before the week started, you already knew that a potential target was 92.29 before the week even started. Because you already are explaining to yourself that if, I talk about if-then statements, if the daily gets to target, then the weekly can get to target. If the weekly gets to target, then the 2-week can get to target. You're handing the baton, and then you know what's crazy? They even do it with the 3-week too. Look at that target for the 3-week. The target for the 3-week is still an inside bar breakout. You have an actionable signal. And you know what's crazy? This is why I said RTX is the best example, because they didn't give you, oh, you have a 2-1-2 on this one and then a 1-2-2 on this one. No, they said 2-1-2 up on the day, 2-1-2 up on the week, 2-1-2 up on the 2-week, 2-1-2 up on the 3-week. They gave you one actionable signal for every single time frame. And if you know how to play an inside bar breakout, you know where the price is going to go. If the 2-week chart, let me go to the 2-week right now. If it gets to its target, which happens to be 92.29, you're handing the baton to the 3-week participant. And now the 3-week participant can get to its target at 92.81. And this is where the confidence comes from of us seeing a play on the weekend and saying, oh, it's going to $93. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just a matter of you have to trigger the cascade effect. I call it like a cascade effect. Once this triggers, boom, you're now aligning everything else to trigger. And what started it? The daily. The daily. By the daily triggering 2-1-2 up, you are now, think about your thesis. By it triggering 2-1-2 up on the day, you are now starting the move of the 2-1-2 up on the day, into the 2-1-2 up in the week, into the 2-1-2 up in the 2-week, into the 2-1-2 up in the 3-week, into the 2-1-2 up in the 4-week. Just by triggering the day, you have now triggered the cascade effect. Wait, but what do you mean? We haven't got to the weekly. Believe it until it's proven otherwise. That's how you get the confidence. The strat tells you where it's supposed to go. You know where it's supposed to go. You just don't want to hold. Not you, anyone in particularly, but it's because, oh, it goes down. You have a 2 down on the day. And you know where it's supposed to go to. And manipulation occurs. That's why we talk the journey from entry to target. Think of it as a journey. Think of it as fuckery. That's how I call it. I call it fuckery. From my entry to my target, it can do whatever it wants. You can go up, down, around, hopscotch, double dot. You can do whatever you want. Just get to my target by whatever my expiration is, and then thank you very much. You can do circles all you want. Nope. As long as you started my first trigger, now you have my thesis is now in play. My thesis of the 2-1-2 up, 2-1-2 up, 2-1-2 up on every single time frame until proven otherwise. And some people are going to ask, okay, so if your entry was based on the day, are you using 50% of the previous day as your invalidation, or are you using the low of the previous day? No, because remember, my thesis says we are going to become 3-week participants, 2-week participants. Therefore, I'm using that 2-week candle, that 3-week candle to be my stop loss. Because I want to be a 3-week participant. I don't want to be a daily participant. The daily participant, by it triggering the weekly, you are now saying, would you like to hop on the trade to become a weekly participant? Oh, sure, why not? No, thank you so much. Boom, get on the train. And then you get to the target. Would you like to hop on a train to become a 2-week participant? You have even more lavish services. Oh, why not? Oh, the only thing you have to do is that you probably have to stay in this train for 2 more weeks. Can I afford to stay in the train for 2 more weeks? Yes, boom, there you go. Telling y'all, the chart tells you how long you need to stay in the play. And that's why you got to take a top-down approach. You got to look from the highest time frames first, then go to the lowest time frames. The highest time frames first, then go to the lowest time frames. Because at the highest time frame saying, hey, you can have the opportunity to trigger 2 up on the month, you are now saying, okay, how can we get there? How you can get there? Okay, the 2-1-2 up on the day, into the 2-1-2 up in the 3-day, into the 1-2-2 into the 5-day, and that's how you get there. You can literally draw your pathway for a stock. You can draw your pathway for it. And that's why it's crazy. And look at RTX right now. You don't gotta worry about it. You trigger the day, we ain't worried until you get back below what? $89. We will see you in April. So for those of you that are in, that's what I'm saying. Oh, are you still in RT? Bro, don't chill. Go enjoy your life. Go travel. Come back in 2 weeks and see what it's doing. Go do, you don't gotta stare at this chart. By you, it's starting your thesis, you do not deviate from it until it invalidates. And if it invalidates, yeah, it might be you look at it and you're down 60%. Okay, it invalidated and you're down 60%. But I promise you, if you keep the same energy for the same trade, more trades are gonna work out for your favor. More trades are gonna work out for your favor. And that's how you gotta think about it, y'all. Which actionable signals into an actionable signal into a higher time. You have, like I keep saying, you have to look at every single time frame. I'm sorry, you not just looking at no daily. You ain't just looking at the 45. That's why when people ask, oh, I'm looking at this on a 30. Okay, did you look at it on the hour? Did you look at? No, you better, before you come up, you better have looked at it on every single time frame first. Then come up with your conclusion, because the time frames are only giving you more analysis, giving you more credibility of that thesis can actually work. That's why you want to. Actionable RTX is a prime example. I want everyone, if you don't get it, I want you to go back today after the market closes and look at RTX. All you gotta look at those. That's why I said the Strat cheat sheet. That Strat cheat sheet, y'all need to know it. Y'all need to know what a 2 and 2 up is. Well, if it goes to entry and that target, then you go to a higher time frame. This target happens to be the entry for a higher time frame. And it's just a cascade. Trigger into trigger into trigger into trigger into trigger into trigger. Baton, hand the baton, hand the baton. Oh, now it's to the next one, now you're to the next one. But every single time you're handing the baton to a higher time frame participant, you need to have that time for it. That's why I get the time before I even start. That's why when I'm in O, I'm like, oh, I want to be a 3-month participant. So I'm already getting the Junes. I'm not thinking about the weekly. I'm trying to get there. I want this to trigger into the 3-month participant. So then I can, you got to be able to visualize the play before it happens. And the Strat helps you. The Strat helps you. I'm gonna show the Nvidia example again. For those people that don't know what a 2-2 reversal, Nvidia, I still got it on the chart here right here. Look, Nvidia told you back when it was at 192, based on a 2-2 reversal, this is your entry and you should take it to target. The Strat tells you. That's what I say. I'm not telling you. The Strat said, hey, if Nvidia breaks the upside on the 6-month chart at 192, which happens to be this upside right here, you need to take the target to the previous high. Look at it right here. The previous high, which happened to be $300, which is why we were screaming $300 for Nvidia last year, in the beginning of the year. Because Strat told you Nvidia is going to 300 until proven otherwise. So if you know on the 6-month chart that we're currently right here, and if I were to just bring this down, if you know on a 6-month chart that it triggers and you like this is what I tell people, when something's like this, you know where you're supposed to go until proven otherwise. The chart is telling you, since you triggered this, you need to go there until proven otherwise. And you need to start believing it until proven otherwise. That's how you be able to take advantage of the trade. Just believe it until they go outside, then it's done. All right, outside candle to the downside that failed. Until then, you hold in until, and I don't want to say until dear life because, granted, you did the right thing. But like I'm telling you, you will find out more plays will work out, and that's how you get a FSLR 1-day pop. When you was down, and if you didn't average down, you was down 50%. You did average down 25%, whatever. I'm telling you, these 1-day pops, they just be getting people. You gotta trust that target. That's why I love ICT, but I'm like, bro, but Strat told me where we going. Strat should telling me where life is though. Strat saying this is where the tunnel is. ICT give me the entry, but Strat tell me this is where life is right there. You gonna believe it or not? What you gonna do? And then when it does it, I'm like, oh my God, it did it again. Every single time I'll be saying, oh, I don't trust the Strat. I'll be doing it again.
What happened?
Nothing. I'm just trying to show people, bro. Believe in their setups, bro. Believe in the chart. The chart gonna pay.